Thomas Bradley adjusted his tie as he walked through Riverside Park that autumn afternoon. At 52, he'd built a successful consulting firm from nothing, but lately the office felt suffocating. He needed air. He needed to think. His 3-year-old daughter Lily tugged at his hand, her pink dress catching the golden light filtering through the maple trees. Sarah would have loved this moment, he thought. His wife had been gone 2 years now, claimed by an illness that came too fast and left too soon. "Daddy, look! Leaves!" Lily broke free, chasing the orange and yellow cascades swirling across the path. Thomas smiled, feeling the familiar ache in his chest. Lily had Sarah's eyes, that same gentle curiosity about the world. That's when he noticed the woman on the bench. She wore a faded coat that had seen better days, her weathered hands clutching a worn canvas bag. Something about her face seemed familiar, though he couldn't place it. Lily, fearless as always, tottered right up to her. "Hi, I'm Lily, I'm 3. Thomas rushed over to apologize, but the woman's face had transformed. Tears glistened in her eyes as she looked at his daughter. "Oh my goodness," she whispered. "You must be Sarah's little girl." Thomas froze. The woman looked up at him and suddenly he knew. Those kind eyes, that gentle voice. He'd seen her during those long hospital days, always moving quietly through the corridors in her nurse's scrubs. "I used to be your wife's nurse," she said softly. "Margaret Collins, I was there during her final weeks." Thomas felt the ground shift beneath him. He sat down heavily on the bench beside her. "Mrs. Collins," he managed. "I remember you now. You were always so kind to Sarah. You held her hand when I had to step out to take calls." Margaret nodded, fresh tears rolling down her cheeks. "She talked about you both all the time, about how she wanted to see this little one grow up. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry." They sat in silence for a moment, watching Lily play in the leaves nearby. Thomas noticed Margaret's shoes were worn through at the soles, her coat missing buttons. "What happened?" he asked gently. Are you all right?" Margaret took a shaky breath. "I got sick myself about a year ago. Had to stop working. Lost my apartment. My daughter tries to help, but she has 3 kids of her own." She looked down at her hands. "I'm managing. There's a shelter not far from here." "The people are kind." Thomas felt something crack open inside his chest. This woman had comforted his dying wife, had shown them both such compassion during the darkest time of their lives. And now she sat here, struggling, forgotten. "Mrs. Collins," he said slowly, "would you do me a favor?" She looked up, confused. "Sarah always said you made her feel less afraid. She said you told her stories about your garden, about the roses you used to grow." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "I have a guest house. It's been empty since Sarah passed. There's a small garden out back that's gone to weeds. I don't know anything about gardens, but I think Sarah would want someone there who does." Margaret's eyes widened. "Mr. Bradley, I couldn't possibly—" "Thomas, please." "And yes, you could. You gave us both such comfort. Let me give you some back." Lily ran over then, leaves clutched in her small fists. She dropped them in Margaret's lap like precious gifts. "For you." Margaret laughed through her tears, and Thomas saw in that moment how much his daughter needed this too. She needed more gentle voices, more kindness, more connections to the mother she barely remembered. Over the following weeks, Margaret moved into the guest house. Thomas was amazed at the transformation. She planted bulbs for spring, pruned the neglected roses, created a small vegetable garden. Lily followed her everywhere, learning the names of flowers, helping to water, getting delightfully muddy. One evening, as the 3 of them sat on the patio watching the sunset, Lily climbed into Margaret's lap with a book. "Again," she demanded, and Margaret smiled, opening the worn pages. Thomas watched them together and felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years. Peace. Sarah would have approved. She always said that kindness was never wasted, that it came back around when you needed it most. He'd thought he was saving Margaret, but really, she was saving them. Lily was blossoming with her attention, and Thomas found himself coming home earlier, lingering over dinner, listening to Margaret's stories about her own grandchildren, about her years as a nurse, about the garden taking shape. "You know," Margaret said one day as they watched Lily chase butterflies, Sarah told me something before she passed. She said, "Make sure Thomas remembers that life keeps going, and there's still beauty in it." "I think she'd be happy to see you both now," Thomas nodded, unable to speak past the lump in his throat. Sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in the smallest moments. A child chasing leaves, a chance meeting, a hand extended, and kindness, always kindness, creating ripples that spread farther than we ever know. The roses bloomed that spring, red and gold and white, filling the garden with fragrance. And in that small sanctuary, 3 people who needed each other found something like family, built not on obligation, but on grace, on gratitude, on the simple truth that we're all just walking each other home.